This take on the female gaze is so wrong, but not in the way you might think. I'm a professor who studies pop culture and politics, and this is the first video in my new series, Dr. Shan Decodes, where I break down concepts from cultural theory that can help us understand our current political moment. In order to really engage with this, we first need to know what gaze theory is. In almost any film studies class you might take, you are almost assuredly going to read Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema by Laura Mulvey, which was published in 1975. Mulvey draws heavily on Lacan and Freud and psychoanalytics, as well as on the work of art historian John Berger, who noted that one is meant to look at women in paintings from patriarchal perspective. The article is dense and it's not super fun to read, but it is foundational to how we think about how the camera operates in film. Mulvey nails down how the male gaze functions in movies, and I cannot stress this enough. The male gaze, is not about the camera focusing on someone sexy. That's not what it is. Here are three big things that define the male gaze. One, the male gaze turns a woman from a subject, somebody with agency, goals, feelings, aspirations, to an object that is only there for visual pleasure. Two, the camera is meant to replicate the gaze of the people who made the movie, who in the 70s would have been almost exclusively men. The people who make the movie have an intended viewer in mind who looks a lot like them, and therefore the camera takes on the male perspective, according to Mulvey. Three, to accomplish the aim of objectification, the camera uses segmentation to turn a whole woman's body into a series of parts to be consumed. This actually gets taken up later by Carol Clover. I'm thinking about horror and literal segmentation, but that's another video for another time. So the gaze is all about power, who has the right to look and who must be looked at. So in order for there to be a truly female gaze, as this tweet is claiming, and I'm going to call everything a tweet, I'm an elder millennial. In order to be the female gaze, Wolverine would have to have no subjectivity outside of how desirable he is to a woman on screen and to the women behind the camera and to a supposed majority female audience. Since the movie's largely about Wolverine and there wasn't a majority female production team, nor were the intended viewers primarily women, none of this can be the female gaze. There's only one real example of a spoof of the female gaze I've ever seen, and I love it so much. It's Ken from Barbie. At one point, he literally says something to Barbie like, "I'm not sure I even exist if you're not looking at me." And that's Greta Gerwig sort of winking at the female gaze. But it's shown to be bad and to cause all kinds of problems. So, dad bods versus gym bods aside, this is most definitely, assuredly not the female gaze.